Tonight, Fort Valley's mayor demanding answers about payments to a city consultant who was paid almost 3 times what the city agreed to spend.
Despite those questions, City Council voted 4-3 to renew Danny Lamont's contract last week. And tonight's 13 Investigates Carmen Brown digs through the records and spoke with an expert about what they show.
Fort Valley hired Danny Lamont's company, Municipal Central, to manage city finances. They wanted him to come in and clean up the city's tax problems with the IRS and straighten out their audits. The contract said they'd pay him $68,000 for 6 months. But it also said Gary Lee, who was the city administrator at the time, could approve extra hours. Now, city records say that by February, they'd paid Lamont nearly $188,000. I spoke with Fort Valley CPA William Bennett, who says he reviewed the billing.
But I think the issue is it's not that the time gets approved, it's as we get to that total value of that contract. Somebody's responsible to the mayor and council to advise them that our contract has now exceeded the value that they approved.
Weeks in, Lamont and Gary Lee signed an amendment to the contract, adding extra work that added up around $15,000. But billing records say none of Lamont's invoices listed an hourly breakdown as required by the amendment. By email, Lamont told us that every invoice was documented, but in a written statement, Mayor Shakina Reeves says the paperwork does not add up.
That contract called for to be billed at a rate of $75 an hour, and none of those invoices reflect that rate. It's almost like the city's being charged a flat rate per month.
Lamont told us that Administrator Lee authorized those extra hours. And just last week, 4 council members voted to renew Lamont's contract.
The amount of money that he has recovered for the city of Fort Valley, $600,000, that speaks for volumes for itself.
In a written statement, Mayor Reeves says Lamont generated his own payments, some approved by a staffer who did not have that authority. She says he signed checks to himself, essentially writing and approving his own checks. Now Reeves is calling on state and federal investigators to conduct a forensic audit.
There's going to be an audit report issued on the work that was performed here. So the citizens are going to get an opportunity to see an audit report put together, and we're going to be able to tell, was that money that we spent well spent, or do we still have all the audit issues that we've had?
Lamont says all his billing was authorized and he left Fort Valley in a better financial shape than he found it. He says he never even billed the city for some of the work. Reporting in Fort Valley, Carmen Brown, 13 WMAZ News.
Now, Douglas County records show that Mr. Lamont pleaded guilty to theft by conversion in April, months before Fort Valley hired him.
Today, Lamont told us it was, quote, resolved and dismissed. He insisted it had nothing to do with Fort Valley or any other city. The problems come less than a month after leaders fired Police Chief DJ Flores. City Administrator Gary Lee resigned under pressure.
During a special called meeting, leaders did announce they are looking for a new city administrator and police chief. Council also at that meeting a few weeks ago voted 6-1 to appoint Dave Wilson as interim chief. Mayor Reeves was the only one to vote against his appointment.